Player 2 has joined the game.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 207 of the Two Player Co-op Podcast. As always, I'm one of your hosts here, Kevin, along with my brother from my mother, Sean.
How are we doing?
Fantastic. The camera's working again. Sorry about the technical difficulties last week. The camera charger broke off in said camera. But even though this camera is 12 years old, I was able to find a new charger for it, and we are golden. I hope I'm not jinxing us. Does that smell like spaghetti and a meatball and lemon lime?
I don't know. I held it in for a while. What is that?
That's Casey's soccer trophy.
Yeah.
It would make more sense. Make more sense if it turned around. If it turns around, then we're running the hell out of here really quickly. It's like a Pac-Man soccer ball holding a trophy.
Okay. It looked like a turtle from the back.
It does. That's true. The rest of the shape ain't really.
Oh, so I can watch it. I don't want to watch it here. I was hoping to just get a link to go elsewhere.
You got to turn that down. If this is the first time you're seeing, hearing, or listening to us, this is the Two Player Co-op Podcast, where just about every week two brothers get together to tell you everything you need to know about in the world of video games. If you like that, make sure you like the video, subscribe, share the video with your friends, family, and everybody in betwixt. The reason I'm stumbling over my words is I'm looking at us in the camera thing, and I don't think that this is in the center.
I think it's fine.
Yeah, it's in the center.
It's pretty close.
All right, good enough. Never mind. If you really like us, you can go to patreon.com/twoplayercoop, just like our producers Steve Appleton, Aunt Sue, and Vernon Slayton did, as well as our affiliate James Solar. Remember, we just made some changes to Patreon. We announced them last week. $10 above lets you watch the podcast live, like we're doing it right now on Sunday night. If you want merch, you can go to teespring.com/stores/twoplayercoop. And if we ever Twitch again, it will be at twitch.tv/2player_co-op. There's one time where you get close to my beverage. Every week until we're out of this pandemic, which is never going to end. Did you see England's in lockdown?
Good. They should be. We all should be. I mean,
well, if everybody would just go ahead and wear their mask, maybe we'd get out of this a little bit quicker.
Did you swap those?
Maybe. We had kids over and they were playing with them.
I was going to say, I feel like that one's usually over here.
Maybe. They were all jumbled up, so I was just trying to center them up again. So, who knows? Wear your mask. Stop being an idiot.
Yep.
Nerd 901 Virtual Extra Life is happening this coming weekend, Saturday, November 7th from 10 a.m. Central until 10 p.m. Central. So 12 hours then we as in Nerd 901, I don't know where we're going to be on there because my life is crazy right now, especially this coming weekend when I'm a single dad. Friday, November 13th, 7 p.m. Central to 1 a.m. Central, and Saturday, November 14th, 6 p.m. Central until midnight Central. Obviously, the world's crazy right now. The guys at Nerd 901 are doing their best to get us another Extra Life that is as epic and amazing as it was last year, and I feel like they're going to do that. So make sure you keep a lookout for that. We will have it all over our socials. I can't believe I just said socials. We'll have it all over our Twitter. We'll be retweeting it and hyping it and everything. You should have already seen us retweet it and be tagged in everything as well. But yeah, Extra Life Nerd 901 is coming this weekend to start. Again, it's going to be spread over 2 weekends, this Saturday and then next Friday and Saturday. Depending on when you're watching this, it might have already gone away. So let me try that again. This Saturday, November 7th, and next Friday and Saturday, the 13th and the 14th.
Better.
Better. Oh, too tall.
It's better.
Too tall, Jones. So yeah, very excited for that. Excited for the guys and everything.
Yep.
We're not going to be on there as much as we have been in the past. We may be on there. There's a spider web. See it? Oh. You see that thing hanging?
Yep.
I was driving down the street, my street. The sun hit it just right. There was a freaking spider web that went from a tree across the street over to the mailbox on this side of the street. And I was like, oh my gosh, I hope I'm going under it because I don't want to wreck this because this is the craziest thing I've ever seen. It was just like the one line, like it just went, like it just farted it all the way across the street. And I was like, holy crap, craziest thing I've seen. Have you ever seen one go across the street?
I haven't, but I find it hard to believe that you could spot a spider web, a strand of spider web.
I was going really slow down my street because you never know who's going to happen. I had beer earlier today. I'm sober by now. What's going to be happening? So I was going really slow, and it was like 2 houses up. I promise you, I saw it. One little sinew or whatever it is.
I don't think that's right.
What's a sinew? What is sinew?
Mohammed?
No. Is he even on a team anymore? No, the Patriots cut him, right? Yeah.
I think so.
Sinew.
Sinewy? Something can be sinewy if it's like, I don't know what that means, but...
Like a spider web?
Maybe.
I don't know. Excuse me. And it will be at twitch.tv/nerd901. I should have said that as well. But check them out. No, this is too tall. Now I'm way too short. Whatever. I am what I am. Oh, I shrunk. I had my physical. I've shrunk another 1/4 inch.
That's what happens when you get old.
I know. Funny guy. Happy birthday, by the way.
Is it? Thank you. Could it just be your hair?
I was standing.
What does that sound?
Piano. I was standing as straight up as I could. And I was like, and they were like, yep, 5'9" and 1/4.
Man, you're going to be into the 5'8" pretty soon.
Noah's going to be taller than me by freaking Christmas. Before we get into everything, one thing I want to touch on here, because I don't want to talk about it in the news. I just find this hilarious, and I didn't even want to touch on it on the wrap-up because I wanted to have its own timestamp for it.
Mm-hmm.
Cyberpunk 2077. Remember when it went gold a couple weeks ago, Sean?
Yes.
It's delayed again. Are you kidding me?
I didn't realize that that's why they called it 2077 when it was actually going to come out. But yeah, that's pretty ridiculous.
It goes gold, then it gets delayed. It's not the first time. Colin and Ryan McCaffrey were going back and forth on different games. There's been 3 or 4 that they could think of. One of them didn't even get delayed. It went gold. They printed all the discs, and then they said, no, this game sucks. We're not releasing it. And that was NBA Elite 11, I think. When they tried to get back in the NBA game after Live, they brought out NBA Elite. It was horrible. I think NBA Live did come back at some point this generation for a year or 2, and it was horrible, but whatever. There was a couple other games as well, but like, what is the point of a game going gold to then be delayed by another 3 weeks? This is the 3rd delay. I thought it was more than this. It's 4 release dates, 3 delays. Last year at E3, it was announced it was coming out April 2020. Then they delayed it to September. Then they delayed it to November. Said it's going. Then it went gold. They said we're not going to move the release date again. People tweeted them saying, "Hey, I'm going to take the day off from work to play this game. Are you promising me that it's not going to get delayed again?" They said, "Yep." And then they had all these quote unquote funny tweets being like, "Whoops, sorry, got the." It's not funny. Like, you went gold, and now you delayed it into December. The funniest thing out of all of this, though, it's not eligible for the Game Awards this year. That makes me so happy, especially when next year, God of War Ragnarok, I'll believe it when I see it. Horizon Forbidden West, I'll believe it when I see it. Halo Infinite, I'll believe it when I see it. These 3 baller games, we'll talk about Halo here in a little bit, are coming out next year. I hope it does not win any awards.
I mean, it's the whole...
Nothing against the people working on the game. The management for this game have completely boned everybody over that works for CD Projekt Red, and it is just mind-blowing to me.
Well, it's the whole, a late game is late for whatever, but a bad game is bad forever.
A delayed game is eventually good. Yeah, a bad, whatever. Sorry, Miyamoto.
If this game ends up being as good as everybody wants it to be, nobody's going to care that it got delayed. Nobody's going to remember it got delayed. True. A week after it came out. That being said, it is pretty ridiculous. Like, why go gold if it's not... I don't know. I mean, I get it. I don't know. Also, don't be one of those people, like, sending death threats out. It's not that serious, guys. Like, it is kind of funny that they've somehow managed to screw this up again, but it doesn't warrant death threats. I'm sure nobody watching this are any of those people, but
if you are, please unsubscribe.
Get your priorities straight.
Yes, it's a fictional piece of media that is really, in the grand scheme of things, not that important, especially with all the stories going around about crunch and everything. And now you kind of got to look at those stories where I've been like, oh my God, Jason, shut up. Now I'm kind of like, well, okay, clearly this company is so mismanaged that it's not even funny.
Yeah.
So now it's going to be 3 more weeks of crunch, 6-day weeks, whatever, overtime. I get it. We're not going back there. But like, man, the management at CD Projekt Red is atrocious.
I can't deny it.
So I hope you weren't getting excited to play Cyberpunk here in a couple weeks when you get your fancy new consoles, because you won't be. But December 10th, you can.
If you put in for the day off from work, go ahead and pull that back.
Yeah, hopefully you've got enough time to cancel it. You've still got, as we're recording this, 9 days. So hopefully you can cancel it. I need to put in my days off for the PS5.
You haven't yet?
Not yet. Because I still don't believe. Like, I'm almost waiting until I get the FedEx notification.
Now say it's coming out next week.
Oh, I was going to say this month, but yeah, it's next week.
It's next week.
We could have said that at
crazy.
pizza night, too.
No, because...
Oh, no, never mind. Well, no, because that doesn't start a new week on a Friday. What am I saying?
Oh,
I'm so excited. I can't wait. We'll talk more about some PS5 stuff here in a little bit. But first, we're going to go as spoiler-free as we can. The Mandalorian came out on this guy's birthday. # Team Old. Shout out to our dad. All 3 white men in our family. We're the whites. You know what I mean? That sounded dumb. All the men in our family have now tripped and fallen over
the last
gates in the last
months.
4 weeks.
4 or 5 weeks, yeah.
When did Brittany go out of town?
I don't know.
Because you were the first.
Yeah, it was...
Has it only been 3 weeks?
I feel like it was longer than that.
I think it's been 4 to 5. In the last month to a month and a half, our dad tried to not jump, because that would have been way worse. Step over a baby gate, and he had the same fate that Sean and I did over the last month. I'm short. Your dad's taller than me, and you're taller than both of us. Neither of you have any excuse.
My baby gate is
Dad's
really
70 years old.
My baby gate is like stepping over the top rope into a wrestling ring.
No,
not really. But it's like
not diesel.
It's, I think, 32 inches tall. Like, it's pretty tall. I have no business stepping over this thing. I'm just too lazy to unhook it.
That's not how a wrestling ring works. But anyways, our dad's okay. It was very scary, and I was like, the funniest, you got to find humor in life, especially this year. When it happens, first off, I see his foot go like this, and he's ass over tea kettle and everything. And I look over at the couch in the living room, and Nick is there on Granny's iPhone. He goes, "Poppy, are you okay?" And he just goes back to playing whatever game he was playing. So I had to laugh at that because it was ridiculous. But, okay, anyways.
He's fine, though. Everything's fine.
He's okay. His toe is grossly purple
yeah.
because that's what he caught on the thing. But, yeah. Bad things happen in 3, so none of us should ever.
Yeah, we're good.
I'm never stepping over.
We're in the clear. I'm just going to start.
I'm going to open
vaulting over it.
Yep, and you'll come here with 2 black eyes and a broken nose. The Mandalorian came out on Sean's birthday. That's what started all this. We're not going to give the big spoiler. Would you agree with me, though, like I tweeted, the spoiler in this episode is a bigger deal than Baby Yoda?
I don't know about that.
Because you and I differ on what's actually happening. So if it's what I think, then I think it's a bigger deal. If it's what you think, then it's not.
It's not necessarily what I think. I just think it could be. I hope you're right.
I hope I'm right, too.
But, yeah, I don't know if it's... In hindsight, like, when I saw this, I was like, oh. When I saw last season's premiere, the series premiere, I was like, no. That was. I was going to say, what Baby Yoda has become.
This won't become that.
No. But even when it first happened, I was like, oh, my God. Wait, what? There's like a little, like, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's that big. But
I mean more like in canon. Well, even then, maybe it's not.
Yeah.
Because who knows what they're going to do with Baby Yoda. Spoiler alert if you didn't watch last. After about a week after that happened,
there was no... It was,
you would have to delete all social media to avoid that.
Yeah.
But what did you think of the episode overall? I'll go first, even though I asked you. I thought it was amazing. IGN gave it a 7 out of 10. I was like, this was a 10 out of 10 to me.
Yeah.
Timothy Olyphant's in it. Danny Cordray was awesome. He shows up in some armor and stuff. If you haven't seen it yet, then you should, because they completely. I didn't even know he was in this. The only like big name I knew outside of like Gina Carano's back. LeVar Burton is back. It's not LeVar Burton. What's his name? Carl Weathers is back.
Because now all of a sudden I'm like, oh my god, all I could think of was LeVar Burton, and I knew that wasn't right.
Was LeVar Burton Data? No, not Data.
Not
what
Data.
was his name in The Next Generation? Jordy was the other guy. But LeVar Burton played him, right?
Yes.
Okay. Anyways, space. Gina Carano was back. LeVar Burton, also known as Carl Weathers, was back. I didn't know, and Sasha Banks is in it. They're making it look like she's a Sith or something, which means she's probably not. She's probably a good guy. But I didn't know Timothy Olyphant was in this. So when he took the mask off,
when I saw him, I couldn't remember.
Did you not? My initial thought was, oh, that's Danny Cordray, the handsome salesman.
No, I knew exactly who it was, but I'm like, I think at first, and I don't know if it's correct or not, but I started thinking, oh yeah, I forgot that I read he was going to be in the season. But now I'm like, I don't know if I actually read that. But either way, if I did know it, I had totally forgotten about it. But when he started talking, I'm like, I know who this. I mean, I don't know who it's going to be, but I know that I'm going to know who it is because I'm like, the voice sounds familiar. But
the name was something that I think they actually got from the expanded universe, which Disney said it doesn't count. The whole storyline is what was rumored for that one spin-off movie, starring the guy that I think that is.
Oh, okay.
It's around the missing armor and stuff like that. We're about to spoil this, but I mean, by the time this goes up, it'll be Wednesday. You should have seen it already.
If you care, you've probably seen it by then.
Thought the episode was really cool. I was trying to see. I do think there was, like Bernardo tweeted too, he noticed the CG a little bit more. I think I did as well. Do you remember when the video came out about how they shot this in a pandemic? So they did they had this giant soundstage where they basically surrounded this ridiculously big, probably like an acre big room with these like green screen walls that are LED walls and stuff. And for like the wide shots and stuff like that. So you could have a mix of real stuff with green screen, with like dirt on the ground and stuff, whatever. And I've also heard that the Batman is employing that for their shooting as well. I thought the CG stuck out a little bit more, but the big thing, there's a big monster in this. Spoiler alert, it's Star Wars. There's a big monster. And it was awesome. And I noticed it was so funny because did you see Bernardo's tweet about it going full screen?
I did, but I'm like, what is he talking about?
You didn't notice it when it happened?
I don't think so.
I was watching and it's in, widescreen. And then all of a sudden when they're getting ready to go and do the attack, right before the attack starts, all of a sudden like I blinked and I was like, this is taking up the whole screen now. And I was like, oh my God, that means they shot this basically in IMAX. Oh my God, it's about to go down. And then it went down and it was freaking awesome.
I didn't even notice.
I will say my initial thought was how they defeated the thing is what I thought they were going to do from the beginning.
That's what I thought too.
When they're walking and they've got the big
the things
tonkas,
strapped
whatever
up.
they are, I'm like, they're just going to feed it and blow it up. I'm like, why did you try to do it from? This is so tough to do. Why did you try to do what you did?
Right.
You should have just sacrificed the stupid thing.
Tauntaun.
It is a tauntaun. No, it's not a tauntaun.
Not a tauntaun.
No, that's what Luke and Han got inside.
Yeah.
Episode 5. Don't say Tusken because those are Tusken Raiders.
I can't remember what they're called now. But yeah, that thing.
Mando is awesome. And the fact that he befriended the Tusken, it's cool to see that other side of the Tusken Raiders. You know what I mean? That they're actually not just murderers and whatever. They're like, you can talk to them if you go, that was cool. That they actually speak in that language was cool. I thought it was awesome. YouTube.com/2player co-op. I'm not even doing the voice right.
I mean, it's not terribly far off.
I thought you could say it's not terrible. Anything else you want to add on Mando?
One thing I thought was cool, and I had to Wikipedia some stuff to remember what had happened elsewhere.
Was it what we were texting about? About Tatooine?
Yes.
Yeah.
And once I read something, I was like, Oh, did you notice the callback when
Just say it without saying it.
when he basically saved Danny Cordray and how he saved him?
Oh, I read about that. That's how he died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I assume that was done on purpose.
I forgot that.
Yeah. Well, so did I until I read it. I was like, oh, yeah. Oh.
Because I thought, when I think back to what happened in that movie, I don't think of that. Was it Luke?
It was Han, I think.
It was Han, okay. Because I was like, I can't remember, did they shoot it? Like, I still can't even remember what actually happened to make it do that so that happened.
I think what I read, and it sounds familiar because I remember
I need to
in
go
the
watch them all
movie,
again.
I remember in the movie thinking like, oh, you did him so dirty.
Yes.
I think it was literally like an accident almost, like he didn't even mean to. I don't know. It's just really weird. But I think that was a very purposeful callback to that.
They need to get that thing checked out. You need to do a little bit better manufacturing on those things.
Yes.
The Mandalorian is awesome. I am so happy it's back. This already, through 9 episodes, is better than the entire new
yes,
trilogy.
it's
that we
so
got.
sad.
I love
It's like,
Force Awakens, but man, those other 2 movies can just go to hell.
it's like, imagine how good. Like, this is what.
They should have let Jon Favreau
Yes,
direct the new trilogy.
Absolutely.
Write it, directed everything.
It could have been
or
so
J.J.
good.
Abrams to let him have one vision instead of, we have to defy No, what's it called?
Subvert.
Yes, subverting expectations.
Yeah.
Sean,
Yes.
what do you played this week?
Me. I don't think I played much. I played one thing, which I think you're going to want to talk about.
Go for it, because I've only played that and then the new game I got.
Okay. So the demo for
Age of Calamity.
Age of Calamity came out. I literally played for like 5 minutes.
Really?
It's not that I didn't like it. It's just I don't understand what I'm doing. I feel like I could beat this whole game by just going why, and I'm sure the game gets more difficult, but it's like, ooh, push Y to do this, push X to do this, push X to do this. But when you're doing X, you could also hold X after you press X to do something else. And I'm like, what? And it's like to heal, hold this and hit this. To me, the controls are way more complicated than they need for such a simple game. I feel like the controls are just ridiculously complicated, and I'm sure it's something I could probably get used to.
I was confused.
It didn't
at
really
first, but
do
I
it
got
for me, and I'm just like, I don't know what's happening. My main takeaway, and at first I was like, ugh, and then I'm like, At first I was like,
And then I went, oh.
I love seeing that world
Yeah.
pre-Calamity. And I'm like, this is what Breath of the Wild 2 should be. And as far as we know, it's not. But I'm just wondering if somehow...
Not a prequel, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if somehow everything we've seen, which is not very much... No, but they've already... Ugh. I was going to say, if there's somehow that they could just be like, well, this is what's happening... Man, we need to go back in time to do something so that never happens. But I'm like, they've already gone to the lengths of like, ooh, look, we're going to raise the castle. So I'm sure that's going to be a big thing. But like, I want to play a Breath of the Wild-like game in an actual world where it's not just like piles of rocks everywhere.
Ruins,
Like, I want to see, like, that was my biggest takeaway from it, is I want to play a true Zelda game in that world pre-Calamity.
Yeah. There was something, and I might be completely overthinking this, but this game starts. I played an hour and a half of it, by the way, not 5 minutes. So I'll give you some more thoughts here. My stomach hurts. Might fart, might burp. Don't know what's going to happen. Either way, it's not going to affect y'all. It's going to affect Sean. The game starts, the opening cinematic with the baby guardian going back in time and everything. Happens when... What I remember...
I also skipped all the opening cinematics because I don't really care. I was just like, skip.
Well, it shows Zelda fighting back the Calamity. And then the baby guardian
This makes me feel good because apparently they are setting up time travel somehow.
The baby guardian goes back in time to warn them about what's happening is the whole premise of this. However, he goes back 100 years. However, now you didn't watch the stupid opening cinematic, you jackass. It seems like what is happening there is 100 years before Breath of the Wild. Because it seems like that's where Zelda is using the last of her power to stop Calamity Ganon. There it goes. I knew I wasn't crazy. To stop the Calamity, and then she goes to sleep, or she goes into a coma in Hyrule Castle, whatever. Link goes to sleep for 100 years. Then Breath of the Wild happens. But then the baby guardian goes back. This seems like it's 200 years before Breath of the Wild. And I might just be way overthinking this. Maybe what I was seeing is right before Link actually fights Calamity. It's not going to be what we experience because it's open. You can do whatever you want to get to Calamity. You know what I mean? But something about it make me think like it's 100 years in the past, but it's really 200 years before Breath of the Wild. Because it's 100 years from what you're seeing in the opening cinematic, you go back 100. However, from that opening cinematic, Zelda goes to sleep, Link goes to sleep for 100 years, then they fight Calamity Ganon. So really, it's 200 years before Breath of the Wild. Completely overthought it for a Musou game. But
the other thing, which I know is so stupid because it's a video game, but I'm like, why are these creatures that if I'm fighting even 3 at a time in Breath of the Wild,
you're dead.
Can probably wreck me, but in this game I can fight like hundreds of them and just, I mean, I know it's a video game, I get it.
Because you haven't fallen asleep yet.
So like, I don't know. It's just weird playing this same character in the same world against the same enemies,
style.
but all of a sudden all these enemies just, I can take 100 of them out at a time. I don't know. But
I will say, I thought the controls were a little confusing at first, but I got the hang of it. And like the way you want to do your attacks with the Y, X. So Y is your light attack, X is your heart attack. If you do 3 light attacks and then you combo it into a heart attack, that's good. But if when you're comboing it into that, you hold it down, you do like a spin attack, and then after that spin attack's done, you tap it again, then Link does another attack, and he jumps up, and you can push X again, and he goes like, rah, and an explosion goes up and everything. You also play as Impa in the demo. I don't know what the hell I was doing with her. Because her attack, she's like Doctor Strange, and all these playing cards appear and go, and you're supposed to absorb stuff and then do here. Then you get to play as Zelda. You fight these big bokoblins and stuff.
So would you say playing as Zelda is Belder?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's Belder than... No, because she's confusing as well. So her attacks are all rune-based. And
this game, I just don't think...
I think I'm okay playing the demo because I know what it was, but I had fun with the demo.
Yeah.
Like the second part, and once the map opens up, it is the Breath of the Wild map. So just seeing that was like, maybe I should go back, but I didn't. But then you can do all these different quests, and they teach you how to make food and everything, or you can go over here and you can enhance your weapons. Weapons you pick up can be combined. They don't break, which is nice. Shout out to Dashboard Confessional.
I will not bend, I will not break.
My man. I had fun with it. But I feel like the demo that I played is just going to be more of that with more characters when really, honestly, I just want to play as Link. Oh, did you notice when you didn't get through the first mission. I think it's when you beat the first mission, it shows like you get these cool artworks of the characters that you've unlocked. And for Link, it says Link. And then his code word is Silent Night. Because he doesn't talk, but also is like Silent Night. I was like, no, it's almost Christmas. Cool. That was funny. Yeah, I don't.
So, are you still considering getting this game?
I'm not gonna
Christmas list.
But I'm considering Christmasing it. Yeah.
Yeah. When does it actually come out?
November 20th, and that's the problem.
Okay.
Like, I've got Watch Dogs now, which I'm going to talk about here in a minute. I've got Spider-Man and Call of Duty. And then at some point, Sackboy and maybe Demon's Souls, God help me, Immortals Phoenix Rising. Very excited about what might happen there. I just don't have time to play this game. Like, it's not, I want to play all those games. I liked this, but I want to play all those games more than this. And it's cool that the demo is all of chapter 1, whatever that means. I don't know how many chapters there are, but I like that the demo is as long as this is, because it seems like nowadays you either get a beta, which is just try out multiplayer and see if anything breaks, or if you get a demo, it's like 15, 20 minutes, where I played this for an hour and a half, and there's like all these things on the map that I assume I can do before even progressing the main quest line. So I do like that they did that, but it's almost a disservice to it, because now I'm like, okay, now I know what this is. And it's weird. Again, it's running on Switch, and there's a billion enemies on screen. But if you're just even like from like here to there, they won't show up. Did you notice? Did you play long enough to see the pop-in of enemies?
Oh, I definitely saw pop-in. Okay. Yeah.
It's weird how that is, but again, like I said, it's the Switch. There's so many things going on. I get it. But I did enjoy my time with it, and I was shocked that I did.
Yeah. I mean, I liked it better than the 5 minutes I played of the Cadence of Hyrule, but that's not saying much.
That game can just die in a
Actually,
fire.
I don't even know. I don't know if I did. At least that was 2D, but no, I think I probably preferred this. But again, not saying much.
You don't have to attack the 1,000 enemies to the beat of a drum.
Right.
Which is nice. That's all you played this week?
Yes.
I got Watch Dogs Legion. A game I've been very excited for. I liked Watch Dogs. I loved Watch Dogs 2. This guy won't try it. Just like
I tried
he won't
it.
He won't play it more than he bought pants and then he stopped. Which is probably
like,
more than you did
yeah.
in Death Stranding. So I was very hyped for this. The whole play as anybody thing. I don't know about this game.
Really?
So one of the reasons Cyberpunk is delayed, reports are saying, is because the current gen versions run like crap. Watch Dogs Legion, at least on a base PS4, and I was like, is there something wrong with my game? So I looked up, there's videos of this. It runs like crap on PS4. The funny thing is when they did the reviews last time I checked, it was like a 74 on Metacritic. What Ubisoft recommended for reviews was the Xbox One X. Except that if you got to a mission, which I just started last night, and I was too afraid to keep going because even though it's not supposed to crash on PS4. Oh, by the way, this has crashed on me 3 or 4 times when I've said quit to main menu, blue screen, menu, dies.
Wow.
Xbox One X, the recommended platform to review this game on, when you get to a mission called 404, which is the most meta thing that I can think of that doesn't involve Hideo Kojima, it heats up your console and hard crashes it. A mission called 404 in Watch Dogs. Part of me thinks they did this on purpose.
I was going to say, it almost sounds not too good to be true, but
too bad to be true. It's too much art life imitating art. So this game, again, I looked up YouTube videos, so I know it's not me. And I was going back and forth with Bernardo. He's not playing on PS4, so he wasn't saying it. But it's the weird. The only thing I can describe it as is screen tearing, but it's not even screen tearing when I think of the phrase screen tearing. What happens is it's better at night, which I have seen people say, and I experienced that last night. Not at night, but at night in the game, it doesn't happen as much.
I was like, that's
probably
weird.
because there's not as much. There's not as much light and shadows and stuff. What happens is, at first I just noticed it when I was driving, and then when I was just out on foot, I'd be like, well, let me move the camera around, and it's doing it too. What happens is, like, either whoever you're controlling, because you can be quote unquote anyone. Technically you can. I'll talk about that here in a minute. Either the character that you're controlling or your car is fine. But when you move the camera, like if you're driving at a high rate of speed and you move the camera to be like, I'm going to turn right, I need to move the camera, or just you're driving straight and you look around, or you're walking and you look around, what happens is, I don't even know how to describe. Again, screen tearing is the only thing I can think of to call this. But think of like you're playing a game and you see the sky. and you're just standing there in a third-person game, and you hit the right stick to turn the camera. But when you turn the camera, part of the world won't move as quickly as the rest of the world. So like the bottom 2/3 will turn, and for like a split second, you'll see that the sky in the top third is staying the same, and then it moves. But imagine this happening really quickly as you're moving around over and over and over again. And it is like driving me nuts. Not only that, again, it's Watch Dogs, so I don't even know if this is a bug or not, but there's so many times, and I've seen people online complaining about it, so I'm thinking it's a bug. When you're talking to somebody like on your comms, it will get so like buffered and weird, and then like, but it's not like I'm underground in a freaking mine shaft or something. I'm just walking on the street, and it'll cut out. But it doesn't always do it, so I'm thinking it must be a bug. There's this game, I thought when I first saw this game and I saw they were trying to do the play, you can recruit anybody, plays anybody, all this. I remember saying this feels like the first next-gen game. You know, this thing was supposed to come out in March. I can't even imagine what this would have been like if it came out in March, not November, but it came out in October. I don't know what it was. Not me burping. I don't know what that loud.
It sounded like it was like a fan.
No, that's a car.
I guess it's outside. I mean, it's not the computer, but it sounds like something.
Oh, it's the incinerator.
Really?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
I hope not. Actually, I hope our freaking garbage is supposed to sound that loud. This game shouldn't have come out on next gen, and it was funny because like a day after, it should have come out on next gen only. Okay, we gotta ignore it. It's probably Watch Dogs trying to turn on. It's just not.
But does it seem like it's just bad design, or it's just too much for a PS4 to handle? Like, does it seem like it's just it's too much?
It's not like there's a billion people walking around London.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I don't know if it's trying to maintain 30 frames per second and it can't, but like, it's a pretty game. The character models aren't that great, but the environments and stuff and the lighting, even on current gen, look pretty good. But then a day after I was experiencing this, they're like, oh, here's a video of how great it looks on Xbox Series X. I'm like, the video, the meme of the kid is how everybody has to be looking at this like, cool, but what about everybody that's playing it right now? Yeah. And so it doesn't keep track of your time because video games hate me. I estimate I'm about 7.5 to 8 hours in so far.
Holy crap.
But it's a lot of me brute forcing my way through this is what it feels like. I like what the game's doing, but I am fighting it the entire time. And there's times where it's like just frozen and I'm waiting for it to crash, but then it just has to load the world or something. I saw some people saying online that you can actually play offline and it makes some things better, but I'm like, freaking multiplayer isn't even live on this thing. It does connect you to the servers and all this crap when you start up the game. So I'm like, maybe that's the issue, but what is happening in an offline game? You know what I mean?
Are you trying to beat this before PS5?
I was. I don't know. I was trying to platinum it before it. But at this point,
well, I was going to say, like, are you maybe better off just stopping and not getting so frustrated that you're just like, I'm done, and just leave it alone until you can play it on PS5?
But then I've got...
But then you've got all this other stuff
Spider-Man and Call of Duty before we even get to Immortals and Christmas. Like,
yeah.
What I'm really hoping... They put out a patch on PC. They did have a day one patch. It was only like 2 gigs. Clearly, it didn't help anything. Maybe it made it worse. I don't know. But the gameplay there is good. It's the Watch Dogs that I like. I will say that this whole play as anybody thing, completely oversold. Like, I can already tell I would have rather just had a new protagonist. Like we had Watch Dogs 1, Aiden. Watch Dogs 2, Marcus. Watch Dogs 3 should have been Frank. I don't know. I don't care. It should have just been someone in London. The actual story is really cool. And it is super, like... It's not like Kojima predicted 20 years in the future where we would be with Metal Gear Solid 2. But this is so weird to play through now. There's so many levels of, like, like a police state and that's a hard word to say, manipulation of media. And there's all this talk about illegal immigrants in London and trying to put them in detention camps and stuff. And it's kind of creepy. It's also creepy to play through this because it's like near future, but there's so many auto driving cars. Most of the cars you see, they've got like an A on them to say like, hey, this is just an automated taxi or something. You get in them and you could just push X, and if you've got a waypoint set, it'll just drive you there. It'll drive you the speed limit and everything, but you can't, if you want to like make notes, like we talked about last week, I like to take notes. It's a good way to do that. So the gameplay is good, but this whole play as anybody thing. So you have to recruit 2 people that I found in early missions to be part of, because they're like story-based missions. You recruit people. You can walk up to almost anybody and you hold L1 to do your hack, and you can look at what they have, what their skills are, and everything.
So is there a protagonist that you actually control?
At the very beginning, there is to set up the events. He dies. Spoiler alert. Dude, I don't even know who he was. I think his name was Dalton. He dies like Andy Dalton. He died last week. But then it's just you pick your first character that's trying to reform DedSec, and so you pick them. You do a few missions, and it's like recruit this person. Few missions, recruit this person. Then you go on your way. And I started recruiting like 5 other people, and then missions come off that. But it's just like, do you want this guy? If so, go help him rob a bank to make him your friend or whatever. I don't even know what it was. You don't have to do any of it. One guy I started because you can hold L1 to do the hack. You can profile them, see what their stuff are. I profiled this one guy that was from Albion, which is like the police state that's taken over. Basically, they were behind the attacks on London so that they could take over London and oppress people and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay, he's an Albion guard. Ooh, that means I can go into Albion like police offices and stuff with his uniform and cool. Oh, you can turn permadeath on or off. I turned it on because I've read a few things. They said just turn it on. It makes it more like it just makes the game better if you play with permadeath, because if you lose a recruit, you lose them. My Albion guy that I finally did recruit after I did a couple missions, whatever, he's like, yeah, I'll be in DedSec, cool. My next mission was go infiltrate an Albion building and get this piece of information, whatever. And this is where the play as anybody thing should be like, where it should shine, because I'm an Albion police officer or whatever. I walk in there, and they're like, I'm like, so then I run out, restart the mission, I walk in, and you got to be like, so I almost think it does it a disservice to play as like, or you can be like a construction worker, and you can go into a construction site, but the thing is, like, the people, for some reason, it's like they know you've joined DedSec. It's like they know you're going against them. So if you walk too close to them, it's like the little meter goes up, and it's like, boom. I'm like, so the whole already after 7.5, 8 hours, the play as anybody thing is kind of wore off of me, because I'm like, I'd rather just go in there as whoever I am and just stealth around and like hack cameras and shoot people and throw electric bombs at them and stuff. Like, and all your guns for the main DedSec people, they're all just like stun gun things.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'd rather just play it like that instead of trying to slowly walk through this building so I don't get spotted, even though I am an Albion guard in an Albion place because I've joined DedSec. Somehow these people know that, and if they look at me for more than 1 or 2 seconds, they're going to see me, and they're going to, all these friggin' turrets and stuff are going to come up and just start pecking. That guy died, and I was like, I don't even care. I died doing a mission with him because I was trying to walk through with the thing and everything. When he died, I was like, screw it. I'm just going to go in, guns blazing. Way more fun. Did the mission, got the hack thing, whatever, got out of there alive. And I was like, so now that the whole play as anybody thing is already worn off on me, I'm like, damn, they should have just, like I said, had a protagonist.
Yeah.
The load times are horrible in this. Oh, it's got the detective mode. I think that was in Watch Dogs 2. Do you remember? Did you ever try it? Like the boom?
The little like
in Death Stranding,
X-ray kind of.
Yeah. It would just like send out a ping. That's in this, so that's good. So you can like it like marks enemies for you, like in Metal Gear Solid 5 and stuff. So that's good. CTOS is back. Bloom is back from the first 2 games. Doesn't run great. I will say though, it is cool. Before everything went to crap this year, I was in London in January. It was right before it went to crap. But just being in London then and then playing through this, I was like, oh, there's Piccadilly Square or Circus, whatever it's called. Like there's, what's the palace?
Buckingham
Palace. I'm like, I was there. I took a picture of that. I was standing right here where I am in the game, taking a picture of that. That's freaking cool. Like, I think it's kind of how they did that with San Francisco and Watch Dogs 2. This isn't like a full recreation. No, that's a different thing. Recreation of London, but it's pretty close. So just seeing some of the places I actually was like, man, this is really cool. And it does look really good on a PS4. I was playing as an older lady at one point. I recruited her, and just seeing them kick ass is just weird but hilarious also. Yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of like, man. Like, I was hoping this was going to be like, I was going to come into this podcast like, I got a Game of the Year contender here. This is everything I wanted, and it's
But how much of it do you think is the game, and how much of it is your experience with it so far?
Well, it's half and half. I think if this was running like smooth as butter, 4K, 30 frames per second ray tracing, I at least wouldn't have that. But now that I know, or at least it feels like the whole plays anybody thing really is just a gimmick and it doesn't really matter, that takes away from the experience. Because again, like I've said 5 times now, like they could have done this where there's one protagonist. This is kind of what they did in Watch Dogs 2. You played as Marcus, but he was also trying to raise up this revolution, this insurrection. But he did it through completing missions to grow his social media following, to get enough computing. So he would gain followers. And if he gained followers, they were basically saying, you can use some of my processing power to power your devices and DedSec's devices to be able to take down the bad guys. I don't even remember what the story was in Watch Dogs 2 at this point. But you could have done something like that here. One protagonist, and maybe you are recruiting people, but just like Metal Gear Solid 5, you can recruit all these people and you can play as them on missions. I don't know why you would ever go out on a mission as Creeping Wallaby or something like that you've recruited, but like you should just be able to play as Snake, recruit all these people to help DedSec, but still have one guy who's driving the story, and they didn't do that here.
Yeah. I don't know. It doesn't.
Have I sold you on it?
I mean, I had my doubt. It was not a game I was going to get anyway, but like I had my doubts about the play as anybody thing, kind of for that very reason. It just separates you. I don't know. That's just weird to me. And yeah, I didn't even think about it, but it is very Metal Gear Solid 5, like,
yeah,
at least how I understand it. Like, you can recruit people, but they all kind of, well, I guess it's not the same because there is no Snake.
Right. Yeah, there's no Snake in this.
Yeah. I don't know.
So I don't know. It makes me sad. I'm disappointed. I was disappointed when we did our podcast after Last of Us Part 2, but that was for a completely different reason.
Yeah.
This is just like, man. Final Fantasy VII might go almost wire to wire this year. Unless Immortals or Spidey really knock my socks off.
Yeah, I mean, I've still got...
Or Demon Souls, for crying out loud.
Yeah, I've got probably 3 Game of the Year contenders left. And it's November, and there's still 3 more that could take it.
Yeah.
So, we'll see.
It's not Watch Dogs. That makes me sad. Sean.
Yes.
Would you like to get the news of the week?
I would.
All right, Sean. Oh, Halo. At this point, I legitimately feel bad for Halo fans. This does not sound good. Halo has lost another director. This comes from IGN because Bloomberg, apparently I ran out of free articles. I'm not going to pay for Bloomberg. Sorry, Jason. I'll just read reports of your stuff on other websites. Sorry. Halo Infinite project director Chris Lee has left the project after following a delay. No, I don't. How do these websites not, like, you have editors that work at these websites. They're some of the people that are in front of all the cameras and stuff. And you get the first sentence in this article says, Halo Infinite project director Chris Lee has left the project after following a delay that will see the next Master Chief Adventure release in 2021 instead of this holiday.
Like, no, that's embarrassing.
It's either after a delay or following. It's not after following.
Both. Good Lord, people.
God. Lee confirmed the departure to Bloomberg News. News. In a statement, Lee said, quote, "I have stepped back from Infinite and I'm looking at future opportunities. I believe in the team and am confident that they will deliver a great game, and now is a good time for me to step away." End quote. Lee is the latest top director to depart although also they didn't even put a quote at the end of that quote. So the rest of this article is a quote, according to IGN. The latest director to depart the project after Tim Longo left 343 in 2019, followed by lead producer Mary Olson, not related to Mary Kate and Ashley. I said that, and Elizabeth.
Yes.
Halo veteran Joe Staten now leads the single-player campaign development, and Pierre Hintz is leading multiplayer. Quote, "Chris Lee remains a Microsoft employee, and while he has stepped back from Halo Infinite right now, we appreciate all he has done for the project to date," end quote, Microsoft said in a statement provided to Bloomberg. Halo Infinite was originally slated to be a launch game alongside the Series X this holiday, but was delayed until 2021 to further develop and refine the project after a tepid reveal over the summer. However, Xbox Series X boxes still include pictures of Master Chief as part of the original launch plan. I have an addendum to this that Chris Raygun tweeted, so I just wanted to read this when I can find the screenshot here. And it reads as such. Chris Raygun is about the biggest Halo fan you can know. And it's funny because he does a PlayStation podcast. This is what he tweeted. "I've heard from people within 343 that a huge issue is the way they're forced to communicate during COVID. Lots of unorganized email threads with unclear purposes, temporary contractors who put in a little work and bounce to get Halo on their resume, and general bad management." Halo Infinite is just effed.
I mean, it's not looking good. I don't understand. I mean, I know some things are out of your control, but you've got Halo. You've got this brand new console coming out, and you have just completely screwed it up.
Yeah.
Like, utterly and completely screwed it up.
As Michael Scott would say, they are screwing the pooch.
Yes.
Like, I feel so bad. Like, I don't get it. I am not confident at all now. We joked when this game first got delayed, maybe it'll be 2022. I think the earliest this comes out is Holiday 21, which again would be their 20-year anniversary. That would be great to get it out then. This tells me, because there's no good corporate speak of how, the campaign's done, we're just doing bug fixes, this is why I'm stepping away. This sounds like Microsoft said, "We brought in Joe Staten to fix your mess. You have completely screwed this game up. Get the F off of Halo. We're not going to fire you, but go do some, go manage Excel or something with Microsoft."
Yeah.
I don't get it. Like, I don't know how you take your flagship franchise. Like, if it comes out to Breath of the Wild 2, they show it for the first time, and it looks worse than Breath of the Wild 1. And they're just, instead of open world, they're going back to, like, Mario 64, where it's just Link in a castle and you jump through paintings to go to levels or something. We'd be like, what the hell? And then they fire the director of that. I don't even know how to This is just so wild for something as important as Halo to be screwed up this bad when you're trying to launch a next generation. I can't even believe that this is happening.
Yeah, and it sucks. I mean, we have our fun picking on Xbox people, but like,
this just sucks.
But imagine, what if this was like Ragnarok,
right?
And they were building this, PlayStation 5 around Ragnarok, and it's going to be a launch title, and then it comes out looking like that, and all of a sudden they're letting people go.
And it looks like God of War 2.
And, yeah, that sucks. But
yeah, I just don't get it. I hate it for Xbox fans. I really do. I don't know. Hopefully Joe Staten can turn this around. I wonder if it's still going to be open world. I wonder if they're... The only thing I can remind this that this makes me think of, even though we've never seen a single snippet of CG or gameplay or anything, is how they completely scrapped whatever Metroid Prime 4 was and started from scratch because it was going so badly.
Yeah. And we've seen how that's gone since.
Well, we have.
I mean, well, yeah.
It's going to be interesting over the next few weeks when more stuff comes out about this to see actually what the heck actually happened here. and we'll be here to tell you.
Yeah. I don't think we're seeing it. It's at least a year out.
Yeah, at best, it's out around this time next year.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, Xbox fans. It just sucks. I feel so bad. Happier news. Everybody except us got a PS5. Not everybody, but a lot of people got it. Yeah, okay. And unboxing videos. I gotta. It's weird to see all these unboxing. I just have to say, it's the system that we've already seen, and the controller that we've already seen, and a stand that we've already seen, and an HDMI cable, and a USB cable, and a power cord. I mean, I watched at least one. I mean, I skipped
watched,
around and stuff, but I'm like, why am I even watching this?
And I'm just like, okay, well, yeah, it looks about.
It's a PS5.
Like
it's huge.
Right.
We knew it was going to be huge.
I don't know.
So I don't know.
That being said, I mean, if we got one, we would have done an unboxing too.
Yes.
But
we're not going to do one now. There's no
as
point.
excited as I am about this console, I don't care about the unboxings. I don't. And it's not like I don't want to watch because I don't want to spoil it. No, I don't care about that. I just don't care.
Yeah.
Period. Like, we know what it looks like. They're going to be like, this is what it looks like. It looks just like it looked like in all the like, I don't know. I don't know.
And there is something that's kind of weird too, especially this year. I don't know why. It's seeing all these and everybody like, I got my Series X, I got my PlayStation, I got my Series X. We're in the middle of COVID. Where so many people have lost their jobs and don't have the money to buy these things, but it's all like, hey, I got this for free and look at all these accessories and I got this and I got this and look at us. And I get it. That's the culture that we're in with YouTube and everything. But it's just something about it's just weird to me this year. I don't know.
It does seem just a little off. I don't understand. I mean, I don't know. Like, what do Sony and Microsoft have to gain? Is there anybody who's like, I think I want to get a PS5, but I'm going to wait until I see some unboxing videos, and then I'll decide. Like, what do they gain by sending these out? I don't know. I've always wondered that. Like, games I can get to a certain...
Yeah.
Like, people are going to wait for the reviews for certain games before deciding if they want to buy it. I can't imagine there's still people out there that are on the fence about, are they buying one, are they buying the other, are they buying both, are they buying neither? And it all hinges on these videos. Like, I don't get what Sony or Microsoft, for that matter, gains by even sending them out.
Well, and also anybody who's following GameSpot or IGN or Kind of Funny or Andrea Renee or any of these people, they're super nerds like us.
Right.
They know the system's coming out. They're probably getting it.
Yeah.
The only thing I can think of is they got to get the systems out so that these people can review the PS5 games on PS5 and not review Sackboy Big Adventure on PS4 and then just have it count as a PS5.
Yeah, maybe.
And then they just say, well, since you've got the system, okay, you can do an unboxing this week. Next week, you can talk about the controller. The next week, you can show the UI. Then you can do Let's Play. Whatever the embargoes are, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will say the side-by-side images I've seen, I know it's big, but I think everybody's been going a little overboard before this last week with just how big the PS5 is. It's not that much bigger than the Series X, and I'm not even talking about the actual fridge.
It's not that it's not that much bigger than the Series X, but it, like...
You should stop. Quit while you're ahead.
It dwarfs the PS4. It dwarfs the PS3 for that matter. Like,
when
compared
I saw
to
it next
that,
to the PS4,
it
I
is
was like,
huge. Compared to the
whoa.
Series X, no, it's not that much bigger.
I cannot wait because when we do our first podcast, speaking of unboxings, when we do our first podcast after we get ours, God willing, we get them on release day. I freaking better if I ordered it from Sony Direct. It's going to sit right here.
If you don't get it, it's on
FedEx.
the post office or FedEx or UPS or whoever.
It's going to be sitting here in the middle of this table. And I just wonder how much of this thing is it going to cover? Because
it's probably
it's going to be like
that tall.
It's an obelisk.
Yeah.
Whatever an obelisk is. It's an obelisk.
it's not. But
it's not. It's a PS5, but it's an obelisk. So some of the stuff that came out of these previews and stuff, trophies are going to be different on the PS5. They pop differently. They actually, instead of just recording a screenshot when you get it, they record a quick video. So go and get me.
I like that. That's cool.
Hunting them trophies even more. So I think when the trophy actually pops for you, it's still just the thing in the corner. I think the thing at the bottom,
the banner,
is
that's
just
on the video.
for the video. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, that's my understanding.
Jason Schreier said, and I've seen other people echo this sentiment, that the DualSense is the most next-gen thing he's experienced yet.
That's awesome.
And all the other previews are saying the same thing. That video you sent me scared me to death. We'll talk about that here in a second. There were some previews of Astro's Playroom. It sounds like it feels like, okay, Kevin, you can't be an editor at IGN either. Sounds like it feels like something we've never had before. There's a lot of PlayStation references throughout there. And also, speaking of Astro, Sackboy's Big Adventure has crossplay between PS4 and PS5. That was a bad segue. Also, so Sony also just the other day, they talked about accessibility options that are going to be coming with the PS5. There will be voice dictation, a screen reader for low vision or hard of hearing players, color correction. You can reduce or disable haptics and adaptive triggers. Custom button assignments. That's cool. I like that. And closed captions. When I saw that video, I was like, I don't know about these adaptive triggers, because that thing fighting me, I wonder what the hell was causing it to do that. Like, what was he playing that caused it to just go, no, F you, you're not going to push me down.
It almost seems like, I mean, it could be anything, but like it reminded me of a game like two people with a sword, and you're in that like,
yeah.
And you're like,
oh, yeah, maybe he was playing Jedi Fallen Order.
Like, it looked like that kind of like where you're like fighting. So I don't know, but it looks awesome. I can't wait.
So what do you think about what's come out? And of course, people are reporting on this like it's news. Again, because I'm a super nerd, I already knew this. We knew this months ago that the actual the DualSense, and they've all shipped early. Freaking James Solar has one. James, send it to me and I'll send it back. I just want to touch it. She said. That etched into the PS5 and the DualSense are little sacred symbols. We knew this months ago, so I don't know. Everybody's like, "Oh, did you know?" I'm like, "Yeah, y'all tweeted this months ago, but whatever." But what did you think about the DualSense news? We talked about the unboxings and stuff already. Astro's Playroom sounds fun. I don't know when Miles Morales is going to get here. Maybe I'll install Watch Dogs Legion and download the PS5 patch, whatever, to actually play that before Miles Morales gets here that day. But what do you think about all the PS5 preview stuff this week?
I mean, it's anywhere from I don't care to I love it. Like, the unboxings and stuff, I don't care. Like, it's everything we've already seen. Now it's just a person touching it instead of just a video of it spinning around. Like,
right.
I don't care. I like all the trophy stuff. I like what we've seen of the UI and all that. I think, what do you call it? Astro looks awesome. Yeah. It's robot rescue, whatever, just not in VR. That's what I was hoping it was going to be, but I didn't know that. Maybe.
Did you get that platinum? I forget.
No. There's a lot of
Moss, that's what it was.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you unlock, like races and stuff. Like, ooh, you got to get through this course, and it's like get a gold medal in like all of them. I think it's probably doable if I felt like investing the time, but that looks cool. Everything looks awesome.
I just want it.
I know. I'm so excited. I'm like so afraid to check my Walmart order again, just because I feel like if I check it, it'll be delayed.
Did you see what Best Buy was doing?
No.
They started sending out emails to allow people to reserve a time starting at 6 a.m. local time to pick up their system either on the 10th for the Series X or the 12th for the PS5. So you can reserve like an appointment to go in and get it. Walmart ain't going to do that.
No, I'm going to show up as soon as they open and just be like,
guys,
I know it's here.
give it.
You can't tell me it's not ready. It's here. Go get it.
Right.
I'll wait. Scan it, and I'll be on my way. Like, there's no way that it's not there yet.
Yeah, it's not like, oh, it releases on the 12th at 3
should be
p.m.
here this afternoon. Like, no, it's there. Give it to me. So
the only other thing I wanted to say, I don't know if this was last week or the week before, and we just forgot to talk about it. Insomniac was teasing some details about the Miles Morales trophies, and it sounds like everything they're saying it's going to be about the same kind of platinum that Spider-Man was. Let's go. Getting that.
Yeah, it seems doable.
I don't know it now that I'm going to get the Watch Dogs platinum. It's all just basically do everything in the world is what it seems like. There's markers everywhere. There's no online trophies because online doesn't launch till December. I could get the platinum, but I don't know that it's going to be before PS5 gets here.
I don't think there's any way it will be, especially if you're having to just fight the game just to be able to play it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if you get it someday.
Next up, more PS5 news. The PlayStation 5 had more pre-orders ordered in 12 hours than the PS4 did in 12 weeks of pre-orders. Hot damn. That's weird to me.
That is weird, but I don't know.
I wonder if it's because they made us wait so long. Whereas the PS4
but
went up
really
for pre-order like in June.
I find it hard to believe it's due solely to demand. I think it's more just the ecosystem, the logistics of everything has changed. I just don't know that. I don't know. I find it hard to believe that that's purely just based on hype. Like, everybody wants the PS5 way more than they wanted the PS4, and look how good the PS4 did, so the PS5 is even better. I think it's just...
The only thing I will say is when the PS4 and the Xbone were coming out, that's when people were still saying console gaming's dead. And now the PS4 has now sold 113.6 million consoles.
Wow.
They are targeting 7.6 million PS5 sales by the end of March. Seems like a lot, but I have no reference point for that because I don't know how many pre-orders they have. I don't know how many of these things they've been able to make. With COVID and everything, originally, they were saying they were going to make 7 million. They bumped it up to 10 million, and then there were reports that they didn't get to make enough. And then Sony said, no, we made enough. Just shut up. So I don't know. 7.6 million seems like a lot. Whatever they sell, it will be more than Series X's. I will say that. Yeah, and that's not a shot at Microsoft. It's just
it will be.
There's no reason. There's no reason. PlayStation Plus subscribers are now up to 45.9 million. You're not having a good fantasy game.
Greg Zerline has kicked 3 field goals. A 40-something. No, but I used to have him, and he sucked, so I dropped him, and now he's doing nothing but kicking field goals.
45.9 million PS Plus subscribers.
That seems like
46 million essentially.
And how many Xbox? What do you call it?
Last time they said only 15 million Game Pass.
That seems weird.
I know because it's the best thing since sliced bread, but there's only 15 million people using it. I don't get it. I really don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Good for PS Plus though. That's awesome.
Also, in an interview, Jim Ryan was asked about Sony growing their first party Pudios or studios.
First Cardi Pooty.
Did I say first Cardi?
I think he said first Cardi Pooty.
First Party Studios. And he said they will be focusing on growing it organically, but they could bolster their portfolio with acquisitions in the future. It seems like in this interview, he's just kind of taking a shot at Microsoft. Like, we grow our stuff internally, and they've opened a new studio in Malaysia. I don't know what they're working on. It seems like rumors are saying they're doing like support work for whatever. Sony San Diego, who makes MLB The Show, is rumored to be working on another game. People think it's Uncharted 5 or an Uncharted reboot or something that Naughty Dog is handing it off to them. Sony owns the IP, so they can have whoever make it that they want to make it. And then the Malaysia studio is going to be lending support to that and go from there. But, yeah, more PS5 news.
Love those first Cardi Pooties.
Comment below first Cardi Pooty. Because I forgot to say it at the beginning. I was going to tell you to but I'll save that for next week because it'll be good for next week. Actually, it'll be too late for next week. Will it be too late for next week? It will not. I will comment, but I will do the thing. Next up, Sean. There were some interviews going around about Demon Souls, the remake. And these are the items that I got from said interviews. There will be a limited healing grass amount that you can carry at one time. So the healing grass heals you. It's like Bloodborne when you go or whatever.
I thought maybe it's just Dark Souls. I thought they used what's it called? Liquid
blood echoes.
Well, I mean that's what. Well, no.
I know. I was just making it up.
But I thought it used the same. I can't think of what it's called. I thought they had the same thing that Dark Souls had, some liquid that you drink that I can't think of the name of. But I guess it's healing grass.
Healing grass. So apparently in this, the way you equip yourself changes how much you weigh and how you play in the game and stuff, is what I gather.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you can basically play like naked for the most part, or you can put armor on, which raises your defense, but you move slower and stuff like that. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, and there's powerful healing grass that you can get, but it does weigh more. So you got to balance what you can.
That
but
grass is heavy.
I guess in the other game, you could have like 100 healing grasses. So what would happen is when you get in these multiplayer, I guess there's multiplayer in this where if you want, you can go like one-on-one with somebody.
You can like invade other people. Yeah.
And then you've got 100 healing grasses, and it's like, this is never going to end. Just kill me. I just want to move on now. You know? That's not in this, so that's good. There's cinematic mode, which is 4K 30 frames per second, or performance mode, which is dynamic 4K and 60 frames per second. People keep saying this dynamic 4K. I want to know what the hell that means.
I don't understand it.
I think it means up to 4K is kind of what I interpret it as.
Maybe, yeah.
But no, because because it's 60. Never mind, okay. There's a photo mode, and we'll have filters like the Kurosawa mode, which is in Ghost of Tsushima. There's also a classic filter to make it look like the PS3 version. Why in God's name would you get a PS5 and make your game look 2 generations old?
That's stupid.
This is the most next gen other than Ratchet. This is the most next gen. Well, but I mean, that's more everything going on screen. But in terms of just the graphical fidelity, this is the most next gen looking thing so far. Why would you want to make it look like a PS3 game? I don't get it.
That's stupid.
There's no 6 arch stone.
What?
Do you know what those are, smartass?
Okay. No.
In like your hub or whatever, you go into these arch stones to go to different worlds, I guess. Why do I do the hands up here lately? There's these arch stones that you go in. It's kind of what I picture is kind of like in God of War 2018 when you'd go to the table and you'd put the thing in to travel to another dimension. There's 5 arch stones, but there was always a 6 arch stone which you couldn't go to, and everybody was like, I wonder if they just didn't finish that and they just left it in the game, whatever. The archstone is in there, but you can't go into it to go to a world in this either. Makes sense. They said there will be a lot more new content in this compared to the old one, though, and they didn't really say what that is, so that's interesting. There are no difficulty settings. Quote, there shouldn't be. This was the whole thing, like I saw Trevor was tweeting about it and stuff. I'm like, I just don't have the energy to get riled up about this.
Yeah, I don't care.
Hard game is hard. It's like...
If it's hard, it's hard, okay, but I can also understand, like, why not just put an easy mode?
Yeah, I just don't care either way.
Yeah,
I don't have the
guess
energy
I don't care,
to defend it or get mad about it, is really where I'm at.
Right.
It's a hard game. It's hard. It's hard.
If you don't like it, don't
play it.
Like,
right. If it's a problem, then don't buy it. Just move on. World Tendency is back, but now we'll have a better UI so you know which world you're in. Something happens where it gets lighter or darker depending on your choices. In the first game, because it was a PS3, it was hard to tell what kind of, if you're in a light world or a dark world based on what you're doing. Now it's easier to tell, but also there's a UI thing that'll tell you if you're light or dark, whatever that is. Some bugs have been fixed from the original game, but quote meme-worthy ones remain in the game. I like it. Don't know what it means.
Yeah. Okay.
Some of the dialogue has been re-recorded with some of the original cast returning. I didn't even know this had dialogue. Like spoken dialogue in it.
Well, yeah.
And you can store your character in the Nexus and edit them.
Like the Nexus of the universe?
We're at the I'm at the corner of first and first, Jerry. I'm at the Nexus of the universe. Sean, how hype? I think you're more hyped for this than Miles.
We talked about that last week. I don't know. I know that I'm going to like I know I'm going to love Spider-Man because I already loved Spider-Man, and this is going to be more of it. I'm really looking forward to it, but I'm still a little concerned that I know it's not Bloodborne. I know it's, there are similarities, but I know it's not Bloodborne. It's much more slow and whatever. I just hope, I don't think there's any way that I don't like this game.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's going to surpass Bloodborne. I'm not expecting it to. If it does, that's fantastic. I want it to, but I don't think I'm expecting it to. I don't know which one I'm looking forward to more. I think Spider-Man is just going to be a good time.
Yeah.
Demon Souls is probably
It's
going to
not
make
gonna be
me
a good time.
get very stressed out. And,
I am so morbidly curious about this game.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
To me, the fact that I know everything is slower in my head, that tells me
This will be easier.
it should be easier than Bloodborne. Not easy, but easier than Bloodborne. You've got more time to just react to things, and you've got a shield for, I don't know how well it works, but like, it seems like it should be easier than Bloodborne.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know.
Did you hear that?
Yeah. I think you will get this, and I think you will like it better than Bloodborne.
I really like Bloodborne. I just wasn't very good at it.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But yeah, I am excited to get my hands on it, but I've got enough to play until this comes out. So, and last but also least, there was a Nintendo Direct Partner Mini Showcase, however you say it, this week. It was the last one for 2020. There's a lot of stuff announced, but these are the things I wrote down. Bravely Default 2 is coming out February 26, 2021. It was delayed, but it does now have a date. I'm not drunk. I'm tired.
First Cardi Pooty.
Oh my God, we rolled back. The stupid freaking... I hate daylight savings time.
Are we in it now?
We're
or
out of
ended?
it. Daylight savings time is ended. So we're back
Daylight
to
savings
CST
time.
instead of CDT.
Okay. It should... Daylight savings time... I think the switching is stupid.
But
But daylight
half hour
savings
in the
time... maybe. I just think daylight savings time should be...
It shouldn't get dark at 5 o'clock.
That's it. It should go to daylight savings time and then
Leave
be done. It should not switch. Just pick
If
one.
I ever run for president, that's what I'm running on. Go vote. It's too late by the time you're seeing this, but go vote.
Oh, God. Yeah. Who knows by the time you're watching this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry or hooray. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
We're recording this Sunday. Hitman 3 Cloud version is coming to Switch. That was mind-blowing. Also out right now, Control Ultimate Edition Cloud version is out. Control on PS4 Pros and Xbone X's was chugging.
Yeah, there's no way this
thing
works
running on the
Switch.
cloud. So I was listening to Andy Cortez was talking about it, and he said he had it hooked up to his gigabit internet via Ethernet, not Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Really?
Because what they do, the good thing, I will say this, have you heard this? You have to play a 5-minute demo before you can even buy it. Because they want you to know what this actually runs like in your setup before you actually spend $40 or $60. I forget what they're charging for it on Switch. It's cool that they're experimenting with this stuff, but I don't think this is the future. Like, Switch doesn't need to do this.
No.
If you really want to play games like Hitman 3 and Control, you have a PlayStation
You've got
or an
somewhere else
Xbox
to
or a
play it.
PC. So just play them there.
Yeah.
Nice try, Nintendo. I appreciate you trying, but whatever. No More Heroes 1 and 2 are out now. No More Heroes 3 is out next year. And as we said earlier, the Hyrule Warriors demo is out now. I started yawning, and then I could tell you were hiding one. I was like, now I have to yawn more. That was weird.
This daylight
What is
savings
the
time.
psychological thing? Oh, yeah, it's really 10 o'clock right now.
Yeah, it's
Why? I'm sure you, or at least Dad, and he's told you about it after he researched it. Why do yawns from other people make you yawn?
the only thing I've heard or read or whatever.
Is
I
it
don't know if
just
it's
in our
true.
heads because we know they're supposed to make us yawn, so they make us yawn?
I think it's a evolutionary thing. I think what I've read is that it comes from, whether you believe it or not, when you go back to the caveman days.
Now I'm thinking about yawning.
Although that doesn't even make sense.
They would just go and go to sleep. They didn't care.
I was going to say it was a way to like let your fellow cave people know that you're like tired and that you could be, you know, but I don't hear
instead of going like the that's a better noise. I don't know what I was doing Donkey Kong or something.
I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. But it's a learned thing. Like,
yeah.
There have been so many times where I feel a yawn coming on and I'm like, Kira.
And she won't do it,
and I'll like yawn right in her face. And she just, yeah, like, she never yawns. So it's not like an instinctive thing. It's something
that's what I mean. Like, I wonder if it's just like we all know it's supposed to be contagious. So therefore our brains make it.
Because I can make myself yawn.
Yeah, okay. Right.
Like I just did, just by thinking about yawning.
The whole time you were talking, I was like, don't yawn, don't yawn. Wow. That was a big one. Are my eyes watering?
Yeah, they're glossed over.
I'm glossed over. So yeah, Nintendo Direct. I don't want to hear any more Nintendo Directs until it's time for Zelda's 35th anniversary. Let's get it popping.
Or Metroid.
I saw a tweet in my time hop a couple days ago. I think it's from 2 years ago, where someone at Nintendo said they were looking into bringing more 3DS games to the Switch. And I'm sitting here going, where's Metroid, Samus Returns? Where's A Link Between Worlds HD?
I think you liked Samus Returns better than I did.
Yeah.
But I also would love for that to be on the Switch. I think I would like it so much better.
Or just give me a freaking 2D Metroid. God.
Yeah.
All right, Sean, let's get to the wrap up. That just sounded like I did a hard cut there because I was like, God. All right, Sean. There was no cut there. Let's get to the wrap up. Far Cry 6 and Resident Evil 6. Oh, damn it. Rainbow Six. When I just write R6, I never know what I'm going to say. Rainbow Six Quarantine have been delayed into at least April 2021, but coming out before March 31st, 2022. I'm shocked Far Cry 6 got delayed. I just feel like that they just poop those things out at this point. What did I say?
Oh, earlier?
Yeah.
First Cardi Pooty?
Yeah, they just pooty it out. Black Ops Cold War on PC. Did you see this?
No.
I hope you got a big old hard drive because Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War on PC will take up how many gigs?
300.
You were being facetious, right?
Yes.
250.
Oh, holy crap.
What the hell are you doing? Not you. If you're wondering, I was not saying that to Sean. I was saying that to Activision. 250 gigs for one effing game. It better not take that up on my PC.
You better not take that up on my PC.
Take up that on my PS5. That's ridiculous. Microsoft announced that all Xbox 360, and Xbone games not requiring Kinect are playable on the Series S and X. Good for them on their backwards compatibility. I'm jealous. They said it took over 500,000 hours of testing, but they are all confirmed for the Series S and X. Congrats. Perfect timing. A new PlayStation app is available now on Android and iOS. It allows voice chat with up to 15 people. Native PlayStation Store integration. I will say I didn't buy anything on the PlayStation Store, but just clicking the icon, it was like, boom, it's just there. It's part of the app. And that gives me hope for what they've said the PlayStation Store on PS5 will be. You can do remote downloads. This is the coolest thing, though. You can manage the storage on your PS5. So no longer like, oh, I got to delete a game. You can just go on your phone, click, delete, and it's gone. That's cool.
Yeah, I like that.
That feels next gen. And you can also remotely launch games, but why the hell would you want to do that? Man,
I can't wait to play Spider-Man. I'm pulling up to the house.
Let's just start it now.
Get it started.
Yeah. And then you crash into your garage. God of War 2018 and God of War 3 remastered save files can be transferred to your PS5. That's good. Every first-party game should be able to do that. Hopefully they will. And God of War 2018 on PS5 with boost mode will run at, quote, up to 60 frames per second. I feel like a last-gen game should just run at 60 frames per second.
Yeah.
No Man's Sky is coming to PS5 and Series X at launch with No Man's Sky Next Generation. Clever name. 4K 60 frames per second support, 32-player multiplayer, a bunch of other stuff. I only include this in here because I pootied all over this game when it came out, and the lies and the hype and all this other stuff. I just got to give a shout out to Hello Games for sticking with this game.
They have definitely turned things around, it seems.
Yeah.
I'm still not really all that interested.
I still say at some point,
it seems like a legit game now.
it's going to come to PS Plus at some point, and I will then give it a try. But I'm still not going to spend money on this game. But I do admire them not walking away from this. Like Anthem was just sent out there to die, and I still think that's what's going to happen to Avengers because ain't nobody playing that game anymore. Keep doing that. Mario 3D All Stars Sean is getting inverted camera controls on November 17th.
Thank God. I don't know if I'm
going to go back to it.
I might, but
I do say this, James Solar. I'm not going to go back and play Sunshine, but you're making me want to. The game looks fun. I just can't do the water thing. I don't like it, Raymond.
I'm trying to think of what I didn't like about it. Well, I know when I played it, I'm like,
The
this is
camera's
not
great.
as bad as I thought it would be. But I don't know that I was willing to go so far as to say it was good. I think it was fine. And then it's like when I stopped playing it, that was it. And I never just went back.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy Sunshine, the little I played. But I don't know.
Well, now you can go back with inverted controls.
Now, is it just the camera?
Yeah.
So I can't invert my flood spray?
Oh, that I don't know.
Because that would be nice. That was always... I didn't like that, Raymond.
Yeah, I don't know. They said camera controls, but I don't know. Because that almost is moving the camera, so
Yeah,
maybe it does do that. I don't know.
maybe. That would help.
It would. Not me, but you.
It would. Not me, but you.
Immortals Phoenix Rising on next gen will run at 4K 60 frames per second with HDR and 3D audio. Weird or anything. A website launched, Sean, for the PSVR camera adapter for the PS5. You got yours?
I did.
I mean, you didn't get it.
No, but
you
no, but I
submitted
got it through. Yeah.
So if you have a PSVR and you're getting a 5, so what is the adapter? It lets your old camera hook up to the new system so you can use
Yeah, but I don't know
PSVR?
if it's like a different kind of connection.
I don't know.
I mean, the other one's just USB.
I can't see you hooking up your PSVR to this thing.
Not anytime soon.
Right, but it's good to have. just
Eventually,
because.
maybe, but
Yeah.
it's not going to... Yeah.
I wonder if Resident Evil 8's going to have VR.
I bet it do.
I bet it do.
I don't know.
But we don't even know if that's going to be a last-gen game, and this is only... PSVR only works with PS4 games on PS5.
Yeah, that's true.
They consider it a, quote, backwards compatible device,
Right.
end quote, without the right. Assassin's Creed, also known as Ass Creed, is getting a live-action series on Netflix. I'm not as excited as I was when I saw the Resident Evil trailer. Did you see they put out new images of Claire and Leon?
I saw
They
the
look
images,
good.
yeah.
Not Claire's hair. Well, her hair is great too, but Leon's hair is fantastic. I'm so jealous of people with good hair. There's also an animated series and an anime series coming sometime after that. Do people really want all this Ass Creed? It sounded like I said Sass Creed. It's the creed of the Sassers. Next up, Sean. Games with Gold were announced. The X-Bone gets Origami Shadow Edition and Swim Sanity. The 360, via backwards compatibility, gets Full Spectrum Warrior, which is from the OG Xbox, and apparently I have besieged that name, and I should not have.
You've...
I don't know. What did I
Besieged
mean to
it?
say? I've
I don't know
spoken ill of it. I don't know what it
Besmirched?
is. Thank you. Yes, you got there. And Lego Indiana Jones. It sucks. I'm just saying it sucks.
Wait, which one did you besmirch?
Full Spectrum Warrior. It's some kind of... I think it's an RTS, Army RTS game.
No. Nah.
PS Plus for November was announced, and it's much, much better, and no one can argue this. I mean, you can, but you're not smart. Hollow Knight Void Heart Edition. Sean said he's going to get the platinum.
I'm going to try. I'm ready to... I just played through it like a month or two ago. I'm ready to dive back in.
From the start, though?
Yeah.
Okay. And
I'm also just looking forward to playing it on my DualShock.
with a real controller.
Yeah, like, it's not the type of game Like Celeste was terrible.
Yeah.
It was too.
On
I think Hollow Knight has some of the best, cleanest controls of any game, any platformer for that, at least that I've ever played. And that was playing it on Switch.
Right.
So I can't imagine on PS4 it's only going to be better. So,
with the crappy D-pad.
yeah.
And also Middle-earth Shadow of War. Also, Sean, were there any Series X or Series S games announced for Xbox Games with Gold?
No.
PS5 is getting Bug Snacks.
I'm glad that's a PS Plus game.
It's literally the only way I was going to play this stupid game.
Yeah.
And I thought about saying, I said it in my head a million times. I never said it on here, I don't think. But I was like, because I was thinking back, because Resogun was a PS4 launch PS Plus game, which was awesome. This is not going to be as good as Resogun. But I was like, I thought Bug Snacks would be the first PS Plus game on PS5, but then when they did the PS Plus collection thing, I was like, maybe they're just not going to do free games for a while. And then they give you Bug Snacks.
Yeah.
And of course, like I said, the PS Plus collection. They also added 2 more games to it, Black Ops 3 and Crash the Insane Trilogy. Also, Final Fantasy 15 was upgraded to be the Royal Edition of it.
I don't know what that means.
DLC or I think it's a Game Gear Edition. Whatever.
Yeah.
Should I play it when I get downtime?
You should try it out.
Really?
It's the combat is at least comparable to 7, which you seem to really like.
Yeah.
I would give it a try.
Okay.
Oh, you might like it.
Also, Destruction All-Stars has been delayed to February, probably because they were like, we cannot charge people $70 for this crappy game. And it will be free on PS Plus for 2 months also. I don't know if I said that, but Bug Snacks is free for 2 months. I don't know if I said it or not.
You didn't.
Destruction All-Stars will be also free for 2 months starting in February on PS Plus. And if you pre-ordered the game for some reason, you're going to get your $70 back. The fact that that game was ever $70, I was like,
I cannot imagine more than like 100 people maybe pre-ordered that game.
Oh, my ear just stopped working. That happens every once in a while. It's like sometimes it'll ring, sometimes it just goes. It's like it gets plugged. Wax? Wax off. It was not wax. Sony wins this month.
Yeah.
Obviously. Yeah.
Was that like 3 or 4 in a row?
I think it's 100 in a row. Like Xbox, like Adam was tweeting me last month. Like he's like, I kind of think they just want people to just get Game Pass and not worry about these games. I was like, they must, because their offerings have been horrible for so long now.
Yeah.
But just even without Bug Snacks in the PS Plus collection, they would win it with Hollow Knight and Shadow of War.
I wonder if the PS Plus collection, even though we've already kind of seen it, I wonder if that will continue to grow.
Yeah, me too.
Like those games, I guess as far as we know, are permanently there. And I wonder if they will continue to, we'll get new monthly games, and then there will be this almost like greatest hits thing. We're like, guess what? Now such and such is included. Like, I wonder if they'll continue to.
I think they will refresh it. I wonder if they will take games out as they put new games in. What's weird to me, I just thought of this. God of War is in there. Horizon Zero Dawn is not. We've seen Horizon Forbidden West coming next year, supposedly. We haven't seen God of War Ragnarok, but it's coming out next year, supposedly. Is there any way that God of War somehow comes out before Horizon, and they'll put Horizon in before 2 launches? There's no way, right?
I don't think so.
I don't think God of War is coming out next year. My guess is still March or April 22. Because every God of War, I was saying this ad nauseum before the last one came out. I was off by a month. All the main God of War games have come out in March until 2018 came out, and that was April. So I think God of War Ragnarok 2, 5, whatever they call it, is going to be April or March 22.
That
Perfect time.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, that didn't. That's it for episode
207.
207. Thank you so much for being here. As you know, we are part of the Nerd 901 family, so go to nerd901.com, where they're connecting nerds across the Mid-South and the multiverse. Like we said, Nerd 901 virtual extra life is coming up this weekend. Twitch.tv/nerd901. Check it out. We'll have it all over Twitter. Nobody's still listening at this point. This is when they stop listening to the podcast. If you are still listening to the podcast, comment
below.
Comment lemon lime seltzer water. if you're still listening, lemon lime seltzer water. And also go to twitch.tv/nerd901 on November 7th. Also check out Ernie the Blur Without Fear, twitch.tv/Blur Without Fear, and youtube.com/Blur Without Fear. You can find us on Twitter. I'm at Kevin White 24. He's at Real Sean White. Together we're at 2player_. Go on. I messed you up that time. You went. Remember when you would dance like that with your knees? Not you, but like people would go like that.
I was like, what? Yeah, that's like a. I don't know what that's from.
Leave us 5-star reviews, all that other stuff. Subscribe, share, watch the video so we get up to 4,000 hours of watch time. And we'll be back next week when we will be on the eve of next gen. I hope we have enough. I'm surprised we had this much to talk about this week. I was very happy.
I think next week's going to be pretty dead.
Yeah, because last week I was like, we made it. I don't even know how we made it to 55 minutes. And now we've made it to over an hour and a half. So that's cool.
Wow.
That's it for this week. Come on back next week. But until that time, Sean, go ahead and take us out.
Thank you for playing.